Hello, it's CJ. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, right across the Red River from beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana, and come check us out. The sound of fireworks going off. Look at this. It's hard to. This moon is very orange over there. That's not a fire, that's an orange moon. That is so awesome. That makes everything that I'm about to say okay. I love it. I'm gonna let this cloud move out of the moon's way. Beautiful. Okay, so my friends, oh my God, Mike and Crystal, they came over. So this is this building here. That's a parking structure and a tall building. It's a banking, and then behind it is another banking. Those two buildings directly in my line of sight. So the fireworks show, I always saw this little halo of fireworks. Always like a it's great, big round fireworks with the silhouette of those buildings, uh, blocking my view. you know, I was like that movie, Mommy Dearest, with Joan Crawford. She was like, "That bitch of a barren wall is blocking my view." you know, uh, so and it literally it was right here. It just happens to be the angle, and so they'd go off, and then some of them would go a little higher and this and that. But it was like I was like, I was so bummed out. But I feel better because I have this wonderful view of this full moon. Uh, and it looks so beautiful. Where just get still and quit shaking, and it might actually come into focus. There we go. Okay, so my friends Mike and Crystal. Mike had been separated or not separated, but he had been uh, uh, yeah, for divorce for quite a while. And then Crystal, I guess she was, single, but I mean, you like when I met her, like she was already, but like she had been uh, divorced or whatever. So anyway, what they, I knew each one of them independently of each other, uh, and they knew each other too. But I mean, I formed a friendship with Mike, and I formed a friendship with Crystal on two independent threads. You know what I mean? Of connectivity, of emotional connectivity. But they both became friends. They're wonderful friends. And so I was when they told me that, and it was the same day. Each one of them called, and they were like, "Oh, hey, yeah, I know some. I'm dating someone that you know." And she was like, "I'm dating someone that you know." And it's like, okay, well, that makes fucking sense that they're, because their personalities are just alike. They're just, uh, if the two people are just perfect for each other with all, with everything that they are. Just I was like, that's cool. So I was like, that really that makes sense. That makes sense. Um, and so yeah, and now they're married. Of course, they've been married for a few years now and everything like that. So and it's a wonderful blended family, and it's a big crazy bunch, but they're great. We love each other. So anyway, I was so flattered that they came over. When people, I don't, like I said, mostly holidays. I got to do this. Thanksgiving, got to do it. Christmas, my sister would have been around, but she's in the hospital, as I talked about. If you cannot tell, when I make these videos, every time people come over and then after they leave and everything, I spend some time to like debrief myself, basically, and just like uh, uh, relish in the um, um, gratitude for having such a fun-filled evening. I truly do love when I have the opportunity to entertain. Uh, it's great. Um, I love having people come into my home, especially if they come in like for the first time, and it's like, okay, cool, and it's a new experience and everything like that, and it's always everybody's got their uh, politeness on when they first come in, and then uh, because we're not sure, you know what I mean? Like it's, and then what happens is that because I hadn't seen Mike and Crystal, socially in a while. We get together these days once Mike and I go hang out every couple of months or something like that. But Crystal works a lot, and really I don't get to see her a lot. So it's like, yeah, uh, in a way, it's like reacquainting, you know. uh, but anyway, yeah. And COVID, people just really didn't do a damn thing after COVID for a long time. So anyway, so um, what happened was, oh yeah, oh yeah, um, I got thrilled at being able to entertain, and I love that. And it doesn't really matter who it is. It's just when people come in, and then I can make them feel a little at ease. I take it as as a as a compliment that people trust coming into my home, that they feel comfortable enough to come into my home, and that it's comfortable enough and safe enough, the part of me that is the host is the part of me that loves to nurture people and make people feel comfortable as well, and yeah, it's great. It's great. So, and I do that. I love being able to offer people, it was so, yeah, I love being able to, offer people, like a cool beverage and have them relax and everything like that. It's so funny. When they first came in, I didn't realize, but I actually had accidentally set the air conditioner to heat instead of cool. And unbeknownst to me, it was like, why do I feel flushed? Why do I feel flushed and hot? Why am I, whatever. Yeah, I literally went and took like a Tylenol in case I was going to come down with like some sort of something. It turned out, no, I set the thermostat to heat instead of auto cool. It was on auto heat. And it was like, oh my god. Anyway, uh, we made. Let me show you. I'll show you. So there's still some left, but I made like cheeseburgers, and get this lid off. When I make a burger, that's the one that we cut and tested to make sure that it was done. So I make a real thick burger and broil it in the oven. When they're thick like this, what I do, instead of a traditional just broiling on, hold on. Okay, so I wanted to come back out and enjoy the moon and the noise of the fireworks. What I do with the really thick hamburger, ground beef like that, and it's basically ground beef, probably about 4 pounds to 5 pounds approximated, and then 2 eggs, and then probably about half a cup of Italian seasoned panko breadcrumbs, basically. And I threw that into a bowl, and then I also put a little bit of, dehydrated chopped onion, and some granulated garlic. Just in for good measure. I did not use black pepper or any kind of salt at this point, but I mashed all that together, and then I made like the really big patties, and then I have this really really great grinder that's it's not a dating app. It is it is a steak seasoning blend in a grinder that I love to use on a lot of things, and so I use that on those really thick hamburger patties. Then I put them in the oven let them go on about 400 for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Then uh, I broiled on each side, uh, probably about 3 minutes, topped with the cheese, put it back into the oven, back at uh, just in the heat of the oven, long enough for the cheese to get good and melted. These people are just popping fireworks. This is going to go on for a couple of days um, when we do fireworks here. Uh, so the reason why I really didn't do a whole like firework display, and I like to do that. Uh, I think I'm gonna have to come out here. The birds. We have birds that come out here, and I think birds got me right here. So it's like, oh no, and I don't want that really in my angle as I'm looking at this moon and reflecting. But also, I'm fixing to come out here and scrub that. But let me show you. Mike had given this plant, this aloe vera, uh, and it's grown since we repotted it. But it was this plant, and then the other one. This was hasn't even been a week. And just to give you perspective, this leaf right here, this leaf coming, this sprout, this was down here. It was about this tall. It was much smaller, uh, and so uh, the two plants that he planted next to each other, they were uh, supporting each other, and they had a shared root system and everything like that. But they had two stalks, and so he was able. Yeah, he just literally just like kind of peeled it apart at the root, and much of the root of each plants were left intact. And then so yeah, and then I in the meanwhile I did a little bit of reading up, and you know you want your aloe vera to grow, but when it gets like this and starts growing too large, or with when these leaves get a little bit too big, then they need a little bit of support because they will break under their own weight. So yeah, it's like, okay, cool. I'll just lean it up against the window for a little bit, uh, and it's really just this one that's a little bit too far, but it kind of front faces the Folgers coffee, so that's kind of cool, right? And then um, it's great. So it got me thinking as we're sitting around and they first come in and we start listening to music and everything like that. Once everybody gets settled, it's like, is there anything you guys want to do? Blah, blah, blah. You want to, what I mean? I don't really have like an entertainment planned other than these fireworks that we were supposed to watch that we did not watch. And so what we did was I'm looking at making sure I don't look too fat in the mirror's reflection. I don't. What? My vain ass. Um, what I suggested was, how about just a good cult movie? People love those things. They're really fun. So we watched Little Shop of Horrors, which turns out to be the perfect for me. It's a musical. It's comedic. It's a little bit twisted, and it's entirely unserious. You know, so I find it a good movie just to throw on just for the heck of it. And it's also not something that people watch like all the time. You know what I mean? It's not like uh, uh, it's kind of like Rocky Horror, you know. It's a cult movie. It's not something that you sit around and just watch like obsessively, like your favorite movie or something. It's not your it's not the latest movie, but it's so awesome that it actually holds up, and that's why every so often there's a new revival. A few years ago, there was a Broadway revival of Little Shop of Horrors, and then we had, or was it, yeah, and then we even had it here. We had people stage it, and of course, you know, uh, uh, I have no idea where the hell to look or what I'm looking for. I just know that there's not a lot outside uh, in the parking lot, and there's not really a lot going on the street. So where are these fireworks sounds coming from? This building blocked our fireworks, but that's okay. I've gotten I've got enough sounds of cannons when I come inside. So um, the evening, for the most part, was a success, except for the firework portion of the entertainment. And then we watched Little Shop of Horrors, and then we had we had the hamburgers, we had potato salad, baked beans. I did a pasta in butter sauce. Um, you know, like um, God, I don't even know the type of the pasta. By the way, if you think it doesn't matter, uh, you like pasta's pasta. Similarly, it's just a different shape. It actually does matter because the different folds in the pasta, as well as the different size of the pasta and everything like that, it works with uh, how it lets the starch cling to the pasta, which in turn helps any sort of sauces or herbs that you use cling to the pasta. So what I used for this, very simple. When you have people that don't really like a lot of when you have people and you're not sure if they like a real powerful, if they don't want a real powerhouse flavor. What I did was I put probably the equivalent of a stick of butter, real butter, into the pasta. uh, After I drained it, I didn't rinse it, I just drained it. uh, then put it back into the pot with the butter, and then garlic, and then no onion, but garlic, uh, basil, and oregano. Uh, four ingredients. Four ingredients, and it's an unsalted butter. It is, uh, and so a serving of it is maybe about an eighth of a cup. So it's not exactly what you call heart healthy, but carbohydrate wise, it's good. So what else? What else? What else? Um, we're going to be hearing explosions for the next few hours. I've been going on for about 20 minutes. I want to be really happy and appreciate in this moment that just sitting around watching a good uh, cult movie that's a little bit twisted that everybody loves, and there's enough room and everybody kind of sat around. It was awesome. It was awesome. So um, I'm just gonna give my thanks and my gratitude, and just say, let me say, uh, I'm feeling a lot of love for the world, and so love and light. Also, it could just be that I'm on a sugar high because we did have a dessert, but but love and light, peace. Good night.